You unlock native-level English fluency in 30 days, even if you've struggled for years. Most people think they can only reach that level after 5 years, but I'll show you exact proof of how I transformed in just 1 month, so you know it's possible. You're about to discover 7 habits that rewrote my English journey habits that turned me from a hesitant speaker into someone who thinks, speaks, and feels in English. Before those habits, I used to freeze when someone asked me a simple question. I'd search for words, fake a smile, and hope nobody noticed. For years, I assumed fluent speaking was for other people, native speakers, professionals, or those with special talent. Then 6 months ago, I flipped my mindset, adopted these 7 habits, and in 30 days, I felt a boost in confidence, fluidity, and even native accents creeping in. This video will walk you through each habit, how I built it, how you can adopt it, and what real gains to expect. Stick with me to the end, because I'll also share the habit that nearly killed my momentum and how I pulled myself back. I grew up in a place where schooling focused on grammar, tests, and translation. We spent years memorizing rules, conjugations, and lists of irregular verbs. I scored well on exams, but when someone asked me to speak, I froze. My accent sounded weird. I avoided conversations. I thought I lacked natural ability. One day while binging English YouTube videos, I came across a teacher who said something that hit me hard. You don't need perfect grammar to speak well. You need real input, consistent habits, and fearless practice. That line changed everything. I decided to experiment. For 1 month, I would apply 7 small habits every single day, no skipping. The first habit was shadowing native speech. Every day I spent 5 minutes shadowing. I'd play a 10-second clip of a native speaker, pause, imitate their rhythm, intonation, and speed, then replay, then speak along. At first I sounded robotic. By day 15, my voice felt more natural. By day 30, strangers told me, your accent is very good. The second habit was daily self-recording and reflection. I recorded myself speaking for 1 minute, then I immediately listened and noted my weak points, hesitations, wrong stress, filler words. I repeated it the next day, smoothing out those spots. That daily feedback loop built clarity and speed. The third habit was phrase chaining instead of word drills. Instead of memorizing single words like apple, banana, or orange, I learned phrase chains. I'd rather have an apple. I'd rather have an orange. I'd rather not eat fruit now. This built natural collocation and flexibility, helping me think in chunks instead of isolated words. The fourth habit was choosing active input over passive input. I stopped just watching English videos for fun. Instead, I used them actively. I paused, predicted the next sentence, rewound and repeated, then tried mini summaries after short segments. That turned passive listening into a training session for my prediction and speaking muscles. The fifth habit was surrounding myself with English everywhere, even in micro moments. Whenever I had 30 seconds walking, waiting, riding, I mentally narrated what I saw. I see a red car. I'm heading toward the market. These trees are tall. That turned wasted time into living practice. The sixth habit was to speak first and correct later. I committed to speaking as much as possible, voice notes, short conversations, even messy ones. The rule was simple. Speak first, then later check corrections. That broke my fear of making mistakes. Mistakes became fuel, not shame. The seventh habit was weekly review and reinforcement. At the end of each week, I looked back at which phrases haunted me or which sounds tripped me up. I made mini goals for the next week, improve my thwich sound, reduce filler words, add more collocations. That simple system kept my progress alive. As the month passed, I started noticing shocking changes. I dreamt in English sometimes. I felt more confident speaking with native speakers online. I understood fast TV dialogues more easily. My fluency, the speed from thought to speech, improved by about 40%. I measured it. Before, I spoke around 90 words per minute. After, around 125 words per minute in a monologue. These aren't just personal feelings. Worldwide, there are about 1.5 billion people learning English. Studies prove that digital tools make a huge difference. In Jordan, a controlled study of 80 students showed that the group using YouTube videos improved more in fluency, pronunciation, and coherence compared to traditional classroom learners. In another survey, 95% of students said they learned new vocabulary from YouTube videos. Malaysian learners described YouTube as a practical and engaging platform for English learning, especially among digital natives. And English dominates YouTube itself. Around 66% of videos are in English. These numbers confirm what many of us feel. The more real, immersive, and consistent your exposure, the faster your fluency grows. Still, not everything went smoothly. In week 3, I hit a wall. Fatigue, discouragement, constant comparison with fluent speakers online. I skipped my recording one day, then two. My motivation started slipping, and I felt like I was falling back. It scared me. But instead of quitting, I reactivated one hidden power: accountability. I messaged a friend and said, "I'm slipping." We set a pact to send each other daily voice notes. That accountability pulled me back. I revived all 7 habits, tightened my focus, and saw a strong surge in my final week. That was when I learned something deeper. Habits are fragile, and consistency plus accountability is what carries you through. Now you have the full blueprint. If you adopt these 7 habits, in the next few weeks, you'll feel small but steady shifts: smoother speech, more confidence, fewer hesitations, more natural phrasing. You may not transform overnight, but in 30 days, your English self will feel more alive, more natural, closer to native fluency than ever before. Your growth will depend on how loyal you are to these habits. Missing one day isn't a failure. What matters is whether you stand back up. Picture yourself 90 days from now. You're speaking on camera, in meetings, or chatting with native friends with ease. You sound like someone who's lived abroad, not because you forced an accent, but because you built habits that shape your mind in English. You don't need expensive schools or fancy apps. You need these 7 habits: a bit of discipline and daily exposure. Let the world be your classroom. If you commit to these habits, keep this video nearby, and follow through day by day, then in 30 days, you'll feel the shift I'm talking about. Comment your start date below. I'll follow up with you. If this video helped you, subscribe and hit the bell. I'll bring you more deep, habit-based English techniques that truly work. Let's not settle for just understanding English. Let's aim to think in it, feel in it, and live in it. Start today. I'll see you in the next one.